century. Wars, epidemics, pandemics, economic and social crises, accelerated growth in consumption. The changes that are taking place in the world today have endangered the basic values of our civilization and our very future. It is becoming clear humanity has once again reached a dead end. As a solution to all earthly problems, someone suggests that Mars should be developed, and someone suggests reducing the world's population to the golden billion and even to the diamond million. Moreover, today we're not just being offered, but are being rigidly imposed these anti-civilization programs.
There is another way, a biospheric technological one, which will be based on environmental and social sustainability. And this is where Russia and Belarus can play a key role, as these are countries with enormous resource and intellectual potential.
The proposed program includes the following technologies: relic solar bioenergy U-energy on lignite and shale. Biosphere agriculture based on U-terra living humus. Technology for building linear U-cities based on walkable and self-supporting clusters. Second-level UST, Unitsky string transport and infrastructure complexes. This project will give Russia and Belarus a real opportunity to become world leaders within a generation and an example to follow, where the main vector of development will not be artificial intelligence and robots, not missiles and nuclear bombs, but human intelligence and human beings themselves, society, family, and biosphere technology. The problem. Today, 11 cities in Russia are in the status of an environmental emergency zone. It is known that among the unfavorable factors, the first place is occupied by motor transport. Urban noise comes second. Its level has increased 2.5 times in the last 20-25 years. Another important problem is soil degradation. About 30% of Russia's fertile land is degraded, and the rate of soil degradation is now such that it threatens the ability of future generations to meet their most urgent needs. Current demographic trends estimate that the world population will reach 10 billion people by 2050. To meet food demand alone, global agricultural production should be increased by 60% on average. Climate change is not an easy situation for Russia's economy either. According to Roshydromet's estimates, the average annual temperature in Russia is rising more than 2.5 times faster than global levels, and especially rapidly it grows in the Arctic zone. Incidentally, global statistics confirm scientists' predictions of rising economic impacts of warming, both at the planetary level and in specific regions of the world, including Russia. World Economic Forum experts have been publishing annual reports with the ratings of global risks for more than 10 years, among which threats to the population and economy posed by climate change rank highest.
The problem of the transport complex needs to be addressed, As transport isolation deprives citizens of basic mobility, access to the basic amenities of civilization is now far from being available to all. Spatial heterogeneity is increasing.
Furthermore, the UN predicts that the number of urban dwellers in the world will reach 5 billion by 2030. Meanwhile, the urban population will grow mainly in medium and large cities, not in megacities. So, the issue of transport is becoming more relevant than ever.
The territory of Russia is very unevenly populated. This is primarily due to geographical and historical factors. The Asian region, on the other hand, is the least populated for climatic reasons. For example, Siberia has a harsh climate. Inhabitation is also influenced by infrastructure, which is not well developed in many Asian parts of the Russian Federation. Given current attitudes and trends, Russia's economy could finally turn into a resource-based economy, exploiting nature. And such economy suffers from even a slight decline in the price of raw materials. Accordingly, such an unfavorable perspective is the most important reason why the national economy must be modernized as quickly as possible. Not only for Russian cities, but for the country as a whole.
Opportunities. Russia, being the largest country in the world, has all the resources, including intellectual potential, to become a trendsetter in science and technology. However, its positions in these areas is weakened. The reason for that is the collapse of the USSR and the long period of recovery that followed. As a result, other countries have gone far ahead in technological development. Attempts to catch up with them within the framework of traditional industries turn out to be difficult to implement. That's why it's more appropriate to bet on innovative development in those areas where Russia and Belarus will be the first. This is possible within the framework of the Union State with the help of engineering technologies, but not digital and artificial ones, but natural ones.
What does an innovative option suggest? First of all, the development of a model in which the environment will not be degraded, where the interests of the economy on the one hand and convergence with nature on the other are balanced and oriented towards the long term.
By the way, there is an awareness of the need for such changes in Russia. Dmitry Medvedev, speaking at a UN conference, highlighted that society, economy, and nature are inseparable. That is why we also need a new development paradigm capable of ensuring the well-being of society without putting undue pressure on nature. In such a system, the development of transport infrastructure could be a key focus, which will not only substantially improve people's living standards, but also create millions of jobs. It will also stimulate the growth of domestic demand and supply. The technologies for that are already in place. Solution. The backbone of any economy is agriculture and energy. What do today's experts suggest for these industries? Genetically modified foods and artificial meat that are dangerous to human health. And the switch to renewable energy, which is only possible if global energy consumption is significantly reduced.
Is there an alternative? There certainly is. We propose a reboot of the production and economic systems through innovative biosphere technologies. What areas are included here?
First, it is relic solar bioenergy. The power plants will not produce acid rain as a waste product, but a living fertile biohumus on which to plant gardens and sow fields. Second, it is next-generation logistics. Existing Level 1 transport will be replaced by more efficient, greener, and safer Level 2 transport by rail-based electric vehicles on steel wheels, unimobiles. It is the creation of a new type of settlements, linear cities, based on pedestrian clusters that will provide their inhabitants with everything they need. Organic food, green energy, clean air, high-paying jobs, and healthy recreation. Let us look at each of the directions in detail. Bioenergy and biosphere agriculture. Energy stored in lignite and oil shale is relic solar energy harvested by living organisms that lived on the planet over 100 million years ago. So, oil shale and lignite would be used not so much to generate electricity and heat, but to produce biohumus, the basis of any soil fertility.
That is, around relic solar biohumus plants, the application of even 2% humus, even in desert sand, will create highly fertile soil on which gardens can be planted. Just imagine that the peculiar waste products of such biopower plants would be grapes, apples, and other agricultural products.
Biovoltaic plants could be combined with agricultural production. Then, the excess carbon dioxide from their operation would not only be chemically bound in the biohumus, but also fed into the greenhouses or glasshouses, from which their productivity will increase many times over. The carbon will be converted into dietary carbohydrates, proteins, vegetable fats, vitamins, and other assorted living matter in the form of thousands of organic compounds comprising almost the entire Mendeleev table, with carbon accounting for most of them.
It has long been known that naturally fertile soil is the key link that can be called the global immune system of the Earth's biosphere. The health of all living organisms on the Earth, including humans, depends on its condition.
Transport. Today, the number of roads has reached such a concentration that it is almost impossible to build anything else. Overcrowded cities, with constant traffic jams on the roads, have become a serious problem. However, there is a solution. It is possible to build a string track directly over a city road or tramway. A string rail flyover requires minimal land allocation for construction. It doesn't disturb the terrain, preserve the soil, and does not interfere with the movements of ground and surface water. The track structure can be placed close to houses. The quiet and environmentally friendly transport will not disturb their residents. And thanks to the level 2 factor, the anti-derailed system, and the automated control system, traffic jams and accidents are avoided completely. Moreover, USD electric rail vehicles have a much lower environmental impact than other modes of transport. By the way, the USD product is even more environmentally friendly and energy efficient than Elon Musk's Tesla electric car. After all, traditional electric cars get into accidents and take up space on the road, which also leads to traffic jams that emit many harmful substances, including carcinogenic products of tire wear and fumes from the sun-heated bitumen that makes up the asphalt. The string transport eliminates these problems. Another point is that electric cars consume a lot of primary energy generated in a power plant. Its production always has a negative impact on the environment because there are no environmentally friendly power plants other than the proposed U-Energy bioelectric power plants. Energy consumption of unicars on steel wheels is 5 to 7 times lower than that of cars and traditional electric cars with pneumatic tires. On top of that, the production of car tires and their disposal are also harmful emissions. In the USD transport, this problem has been solved. It uses only steel wheels, which are more efficient and durable, even than traditional railway wheel sets. The USD transport can be used for a variety of applications, such as high-speed links between metropolitan and suburban areas. It could connect parts of a city separated by, say, a wide river. But its effectiveness is particularly noticeable in areas with difficult terrain. Building a track there, with spans of a kilometer or more, would cost an order of magnitude less than building railway and automobile overpasses. Strength transport can also strengthen the country's defense capabilities by moving troops quickly to any point on the national border and to key areas. And the almost zero impact of this transport on nature allows it to be used in areas with strict environmental requirements. Energy efficiency, safety, environmental friendliness, adaptability, and affordability are the main benchmarks of the USD transport. With these characteristics, it is able to provide answers to the challenges facing the transport industry today. The arrangement of everyday life in a linear city. A residential cluster of a linear city of about 100 hectares is an urban-type pedestrian settlement. It will comfortably house between 2,000 and 10,000 residents. The residential area of the linear city cluster will be divided into neighborhoods where common areas for residents and visitors will be located. A high-rise building with a USD station on one of the floors or on the roof will be in the middle of the residential area. A string rail truck structure will run above the forest belt at a height of more than 10 meters, which will be at least 10 times cheaper than a traditional underground. The apartment blocks are combined into an apartment building, a kind of horizontal skyscraper, a high-rise building lying on its side. Each house is designed to house an average family of 5 and has 3 floors, a basement, a living room, and a mansard. The mansard roofs of each horizontal skyscraper are designed as glass houses. This will make it possible to grow not only fruit and vegetables, but also seafood and fish, as well as mushrooms, microgreens, and other organic food products, regardless of the time of year. In this way, the inhabitants of the linear city cluster will be fully supplied with everything they need to live, with organic food, potable water, clean air, green energy, and decent housing. Neither the state nor the corporations will have to take over the care of the residents of the linear city.
With a stable supply of basic goods, products, and services, the volume of demand for everything else will become much more predictable. The risks of overproduction, and thus of economic crisis, would be reduced to zero.
Such technologies are already being tested and certified in 2 research centers in Belarus and the United Arab Emirates.
Today, 6 types of innovative buildings, such as those that can be built in clusters of linear cities, are already in successful operation, including those with greenhouses on the roofs, a subtropical glass house, and a garden inside the house.
What effect could Russia and Belarus gain from such innovations? Setting up mass production of biohumus from lignite and shale would allow to export this product around the world, generating profits even higher than those currently enjoyed by oil suppliers. And the demand for humus would be much higher than the demand for oil. Changing agriculture to use of humus would increase yields and the quality of agricultural products, all of which would become organic. The creation of a new transport infrastructure industry based on the USD technologies will secure orders for companies across a wide range of industries. The construction of linear cities will stimulate the real estate market and allow hard-to-reach areas to be developed.
Having decent housing, favorite jobs, basic consumption products and services will also serve the demographic problem. Most families will have many children, and by 2050, the population of Russia and Belarus will have grown to 200 million people or even more. At the same time, the future internet and mobile communications of Russia and Belarus can be built both according to their own standards or integrated into the US T-track structure. Such lines would not need cellular towers or space communication satellites. Their functions would be taken over by elements of the transport infrastructure, anchor and intermediate supports, stations, terminals, relic solar biovoltaic power plants, as well as rolling stock and rail track structure, into which energy and information networks would be integrated.
Another area is the production of own cryptocurrency. An automated control system for transport and infrastructure complexes is easily combined with the development of its own settlement unit. Its mining will be automatic, with no additional consumption of resources or energy. In the process, for example, of freight and passenger transport. Consequently, the more there will be carried out transportation, the more energy, biohumus, and agricultural products will be generated in the linear cities, the higher will be the real, not virtual, value of such a unit. It could therefore eventually become the world's main digital currency, controlled by Russia and Belarus. In this way, a digital equivalent of the US Federal Reserve could be created.
Many would say that putting such a program into practice would be too vast, material intensive, and very expensive. But is it really so? After all, the costs needed to reboot the economies of Russia and Belarus into a union state are not that high. They are at the level of other Russian programs. The Russian transport strategy approved in 2008, for example, was valued at the same $5 trillion.
UNET transport infrastructure network will initially be built on the territory of Russia and Belarus, taking into account future transit freight and passenger traffic, both east-west and north-south. This is why the UNET latitudinal line may be extended in the future, in the west, from Brest to Lisbon, in the east, from Khabarovsk to New York, Tokyo, and Beijing, south from Omsk to Shanghai.
In this way, all Asian, European, and North American countries will be interested in the construction of the worldwide network of linear cities and the UNET transport infrastructure network. Therefore, a new generation of global transport infrastructure space can be created at their expense. And with the right strategy, the alliance component of the worldwide UNET network can also be fully financed through foreign investment.
State of Russia and Belarus will become a worldwide leader in rebooting the global economy. In the future, it will significantly improve the standard of living for all people on the planet, on all continents and in all countries, with no numerical limits and no environmental damage. At the same time, the main weapon of the Allied state, to which the collective West has in fact declared war, will be not supersonic missiles and nuclear weapons, but mineral and territorial resources, which is about 20% of the world's reserves. These resources should not belong to the West and its professional liberal globalists, nor to bureaucrats and oligarchs, but to the state and the people.
we should shift from consumer capitalism to a creative and socially oriented economy. The main thing is to find internal resources, reserves, build up own competencies, and then Russia and Belarus together, with the multinational people of the Union State, will win any confrontation and once again prove their greatness and special civilizational role